Hey there, besties, and welcome back to the Curated Home. Today we're starting fall, and I am ready for it. We're going to be adding pops of red and giving a farmer's market vibe to the living room and in our entryway. And I'm going to be using apples because it's that time of year. Not ready for pumpkins yet. But before we get into all of that, I just wanted to ask you guys, what are you doing for early fall? Are you changing anything? Are you just taking everything down and giving your house a breather? Or are you coming up with something that you want to decorate with as a pre-fall theme? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so let's get to decorating. Alrighty, friends. So my fall decorating this year is going to be farm market look and feel. I've kind of hinted around to that, and my strawberry theme kind of went with that. I like having all my staple pieces and being able to plug and play fun vintage seasonal elements that make it easy and fun for me. And I am really excited about doing an apple theme this year because I am from Winchester, Virginia. Winchester, Virginia is known as the apple capital. It is known for their apple businesses and their orchards. And if you buy anything that is like White House apple cider, White House vinegar, White House applesauce, or any White House product, that comes from Winchester, Virginia. And I'm very proud of that. I think all of us that have roots there are proud of that. I'm going to showcase some of my vintage apple things and put them about the house. Everything that I'm going to be using. I do have some things that I have made in the basement, and there are some things, some wreaths that I'm working on that I want to incorporate as well. And I've already pulled out like placemats and napkins and all that kind of good stuff. But this is the vintage, this is the bulk of the vintage stuff that I have that I wanted to share. The flowers are not vintage and those apples are not vintage. This is actually what I wanted to use for my thumbnail. But everything else other than the flowers and the apples, that is all vintage. And I love it, especially the lamps. Look at that. I'm going to attempt to make some candied apples. And I'm using some mini candy apples first. I basically just got a dowel rod and broke it into pieces, sanded the tops to give, so that they're smooth. The one end is smooth because I broke the end off. And then I kept breaking that one dowel down and then just, sanded it off to finish the top. Put it in my little apples. I mixed up my resin, and now with some color, I just used some red dye and some brown paint, mixed it up. And now I'm going to dip these in and see if they turn out. I'm hoping this project turns out. All right, so they are drying. I'm going to leave them just like they are and let them dry overnight, and then they should be good to stage. Now, I've already made apples before. I use these every year. I made these years ago, so I'm going to take these upstairs, and that's what they look like. I'm going to take these upstairs so I can use them, but I want to make minis to go with it. So I'm mixing up a little bit of paint that looks like caramel color. You can use whatever you want. I use the cocoa. A little bit of that with the high luster Mod Podge so it's a little glossy and thicker. And then I'll top it off with some real nuts. All right, and they are drying. All right, here is the before of the living room. And I'm going to be switching out the vignettes and the pops of yellow and the daisies or sunflowers and the mushrooms from, this is kind of like the late summer look. Now I'm going to go into my early fall look. So all of this will get a little bit of a refresh. I'm going to switch out this runner. And we have placemats protecting each of the end tables here and on that side that I'll be switching out as well. I'll also be switching out pillows. All right, we're just going to lay down our wonderful mats on either side. And now we'll get our lamps. Now I have my lamps on either side. And of course, this is the room we live in, so Maggie's playpen is going to be there. But the lamps are up and ready for need to finish the end. The next quick thing is putting the runner on the table. We sit here and we eat dinner every night, so it's important for us to have something to protect the table. And I made the placemats and made this super simple. I've done a video on how I do that before, so I'll link it in the description box so that you guys can see how I to give you an idea of how I switch out my how I use fabric to kind of tie everything together and do it really cheap rather than go buy new placemats and new runners and all that all the time. The only other thing that I'm going to do is switch out the pillows. So I'm going to do that really quick, and then we can work on the fireplace area. And just like that, look at how easy that was to switch those things out. This is not my favorite area to decorate because this room, we live in it. So it's not going to be over the top or anything. It's just little teeny things that can bring some joy to this room and tie it in with everything else in the house. But you know, this is the room that gets the most traffic. Look, I'm cleaning and it's a mess over there. This is real life. As always on my channel, it's real life. But so I coordinated the placemats and this fabric. They're slightly different because I like to mix and match patterns. So so I've kind of tied it in all through here. Now what I'd like to do is to add a wreath up here that ties in that color, or add 2 little wreaths on either side that kind of tie in this color. And I'd also like to maybe get a blanket for the back of the couch for each of these just to warm it up a little bit. But we usually have blankets thrown everywhere anyway. Maggie loves blankets, so her toys are usually covering this area. So all right, let's work on this area next. I'm just going to be removing all of the greenery. I've already removed it from this one. So I'm going to go through and just get each area that has greenery and pull that out. All right, so here is my foundation. And all I did was take, like I said, I took all of the florals down, took the wreath down, and then gave everything a good dusting and cleaning. And the only thing that I switched around or took away were the white containers or planters. I had like this one right here. I went ahead and took down because I have a lot of baskets and darker things going on. So I went ahead and took the white down so that it just didn't stand out too much. But this is kind of what it's looking like. I did switch this with these 2 shelves. I switched them up. This I'm kind of stuck with because that's my Scentsy warmer. So that's where the outlet is. I don't like a cord being seen, and it's too hard to try to figure out a vignette to hide a cord. So that's the easiest place for it. So that always stays there. We're not going to paint the fireplace because all the trim and everything in here is white. And when we go to sell, eventually, you know, it'll just save us the trouble with not painting it. But I could stain it. I've thought about it, but I don't think that I will. But anyway, so that's how that's looking. So now what I'm going to do is revamp my wreath. I've already taken all the florals off of it, and I'm going to put the green and the apples on, and then we'll put little apple elements and red pops of red throughout here to tie everything in, and then that will be it. So you can see I have this one of my bins of greenery, and I have a bunch of these stems in here, and I have a few baskets, bins like this downstairs with just greenery and things like this in it. So I'm pulling out this, and I've already plopped some in here and in here. Now I'm going to go to this basket over here, and I'm going to go ahead and just place that in there. And I might put another one in this one because this basket is a little bit bigger. Hard to do with one hand, but I'm going to zhuzh that up a little bit. I may add some apples in that basket. I'm not sure. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And I think I'm going to take some apple stems that I have, the vintage apple stems, and I'm going to put them in there and maybe fill that with some apples. So let's see what that looks like. These are just stems made into napkin rings. I only have 3. I can't find the other. So I'm just going to tuck these. Whoop, I'm going to tuck it in here, just to give a little touch of apple. I'm going to do that to the others. All right, so there they are in there. And then there's this one. And then then I did it to this one over here. So, and that's pretty much all that's going to go here. I think I want to put some doilies here. That'll come later. But that's good for now. I think that's a good start. What do you think? I also think I need a doily right here, but so now I'm going to work on the wreath, and I'm going to be putting this in the center of my wreath. I want this to be the center. So, and I need this because I want to put some greenery around it and zhuzh it up a little bit. So let's see how that goes. Basically all I do, I've tied that on using some homespun, and then I'm just tucking this greenery pick. Let me see if I can find another one. This greenery pick, I just tuck it in. You just literally just give it a tuck. Look at that. That's all you do. How simple is that? And now I think I want to put a few little apples in there. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. If not, maybe I'll put some of this in here so it kind of zhuzhes it up just a little bit. There it is. I think I did good, if I do say so myself. Tucked a couple little apples, not many, just a couple. And I'm going to take these stems and break them apart, and I'm going to add them in the greenery that I have going on throughout, and maybe even here, just to give another layer of texture to it, and another layer of interest to these little areas. Already I changed it up a little bit and added this sprig. It was a little vintage swag, apple swag. I just attached that to the greenery, and I think that looks a lot better than the other two little apples. And then I've finished adding my little pops of red to each of my little floral arrangements, and I think those turned out really cute, so I'm happy with that. Now we're going to finish off the mantle. I'm not sure what I'm going to put on it, so let's see. Friends, I think for right now I'm not going to put anything else on the mantle. I think what I'm going to do is leave it alone, and if I can go out thrifting and find some more vintage apple items or something like that, I may put it here, or get some candles. Or I was thinking what I'd like to do is just put a greenery swag down here, but I don't know if it'll be too much greenery. So right now, when in doubt, leave it be. So that's how things are going to stay. Let me go ahead and get things cleaned up a little bit. I'll give you a once over of the room because I think I'm done in this room, at least for now. All right, and this is how it looks after it is all done. I am so happy with it, and now I can just add a few extra touches as I have time. It was very quick, very easy, very simple, switching out the old and just plugging in the new. So simple. This is how decorating should be. All right, so for the entryway, I'm going to do the same thing. It's so simple. I'm going to take these strawberries away, and I'm going to add apples. I've already taken the strawberries away from the wagon, so I'm just going to take those up, and we're going to put some apples in its place, and then this area will be done. Okay, besties, the decorating is done for the day, and I'm going to whip up some dinner. I really enjoy cooking, and I love using fresh produce and getting those from the farmers markets when I can, or from neighbors that have gardens, and using all of these fresh vegetables just brings my heart so much joy. When I was growing up, we used to harvest all of our own fruits and vegetables, and we grew all of our own meat and dairy products, so we rarely had to go to the store for anything unless it was like candy or something, like a soda or something like that. So while I'm cooking, I usually think back to, times in the kitchen I had with my mom, and times that I took up cooking after she had passed and making big meals for our family. We always had a very large gathering, so it's hard for me to learn how to cook for two, but I'm definitely settling into it. This recipe is a take on a macaroni bowl. We're basically layering a hamburger mixture with macaroni pasta. The sauce is a little unique though because I'm making it from leeks, and I know that many of you might not think that leeks make a very good sauce, but I'm telling you, this makes a wonderful white sauce to put over pasta, and it's one of my favorites. I'll link this recipe in the description box below. It's hard to have fall vibes when it's 100 degrees outside, but I'm doing my best to bring the fall vibes on this particular day of filming.
Beneath the starlit sky, our love's secret line, like leaves we soar so high. Beneath the moonlight, self-touch, your hand in mine, gets me every time. Lost in the city lights, our love's electric ride. You make me feel alive. I know July is gone. You make me feel at home in the neon glow. As the leaves change color, I dive into you. When summer's fading, there's nothing to do but bask in.
Look at how good these turned out. Oh my goodness, it tasted so good. Now I have to make a dessert to go with it.
Beneath an endless night, the world spins around. You're there, ease my mind.
While these brownies bake in the oven, I'm going to give you one more last look at how everything turned out today.
During the darkest times, as the leaves change color, I dive into you. When summer's fading, there's nothing to do but bask in the glory of the winter sun. Maybe this is the season of love. As the leaves change color, I dive into you. When summer's fading, there's nothing to do but bask in the glory of the winter sun. Maybe this is the season of love. Maybe this is the season of love.
Well, that's going to do it for the decorating for this week. Next week, we're going to be working in the dining room, which is this room, and we're going to be working in the sitting room and in the kitchen. And again, it's going to be very simple. I'm enjoying the plug and play aspect of it all. And we're going to bring that farmer's market look and feel to these other rooms. And I've also done a complete transformation on the hutch that's in the sitting room. It is completely redone. Like, completely redone. Everything about it is redone. It was quite the project. So you don't want to miss that video because there's a lot of real moments in construction going on. I thank you guys for hanging out with me, and thank you so much for always being my faithful besties. So until next week, when we do this all again, I'll see you later. Bye.